So this evening we are asking for the public's help in the search for this man. His name is Jeffrey Burnham. He's 46 years old and he's from Cumberland. Tonight he is wanted in the shooting death of, we believe, 2 family members here in Ellicott City in the 5300 block of Kerger Road. The events as they've unfolded in the last few hours are, as we understand them to be, we believe that this suspect committed a homicide in Cumberland last night. After that homicide, we believe that he stole the victim's vehicle, a 2020 Lincoln, and drove it here to Ellicott City to his brother's home, which is the home on Kerger Road. The brother, who we've now confirmed is one of the victims, was Brian Robinette, age 58. There's also a female victim inside the residence who is also deceased, and we are working now to confirm her identity. And we'll update you with that information as soon as we have it. We believe that after shooting and killing both of those victims, Mr. Burnham then stole their 2007 red Corvette with a black top, and the tag number is a Maryland tag 8BX5121. We are unsure at what time these homicides occurred. So we are also unsure what time this suspect may have left the area. We are asking for people in our community to be aware, to keep an eye out for him and for this car, but we're also aware that he may have traveled some distance. So we're hoping to spread the word as widely as possible. He's described as a white male, 5'3", 170 pounds with brown hair. We don't at this point know what the motives were in any of these 3 homicides, but we can confirm that all 3 victims were known to the suspect and were targeted by this suspect. And at this point, that's everything we know. Do you have any questions for me?
So do we think the homicide in Allegheny County is related to these 2?
Well, we believe they're related only in the sense that we believe they were committed by the same suspect. But because we don't know the motive, we can't know why he chose one victim and then chose the other 2 victims.
And that Corvette belongs to his brother? Sorry.
Yes, the victims. Mm-hmm.
Who lived in that home, and was anyone else home, do you believe, at the time of the murder?
We don't think that anyone else was home at the time of the murders except for the 2 victims. And it's our understanding that they are the 2 people who currently reside in that house.
Can you give me an idea of their injuries and where in the house they were found?
You know, I don't know where in the house they were found. I can tell you that they both died of gunshot wounds, but we don't have specific details on those injuries. Actually, the forensic investigator is just now arriving on the scene, so we expect to know more, including the female victim's confirmed identity, after that part of the investigation.
Do you know if the female victim was related to Burnham as well? Or?
We believe that both victims were family members in this case, yes.
What about the initial member?
Well, you know, I'll have to refer you to Cumberland Police for information about that homicide. I can't say for sure whether or not there was an actual family relationship, but we do believe that that person was targeted and was known to the suspect in this case.
Do you have any idea the direction he might be going, any point of interest he might be traveling to?
You know, we really wish we had more information about where he might be headed. His ties really are in Cumberland, so there's a good chance he could be heading back in that direction, and law enforcement in that area is prepared, but we just can't know for sure. And that's why we're putting his photo out, hoping that anyone who sees him or sees that car somewhere on the road will just call 911.
So the Lincoln, he ditched that here and picked up the Corvette at the same house?
The first victim's vehicle, which he stole to drive here to Ellicott City, was left here in Ellicott City at the victim's home. He then took their Corvette, and now we are working to confirm his whereabouts. We do believe that he is armed and dangerous, and we just can't stress enough to the public how important it is that we get information about his whereabouts.
Do you have indication that he's left this immediate area, or could he still be here?
We truly don't know if he has remained close by or if he's fled the area. We have no sightings, No indication that he is still here, which makes us, of course, investigate the possibility that he may have been traveling already for a number of hours, but we can't know that for sure. So we want our community to be prepared, and we want people outside our community to be aware as well.
Can you know anything about his background? He lives in Cumberland? Does he work in Cumberland?
I don't know anything about his personal life, his work life. At this point, our goal is for people to keep their eyes out and call us when they see him.
Can you speak to what's being done to try and help find them, kind of like the manhunt? Are helicopters up? Are cops stationed everywhere?
Well, you know, our primary concern, of course, right now is to make sure that all of the people who are related to him are safe. We've got officers in Cumberland ensuring that. We've got officers here who are with family members now. We've only recently been able to make notification to next of kin. So, you know, there is not necessarily a ground search per se because we don't know where to look. But as soon as we get that first sighting, we will certainly have law enforcement officers respond to any area where there's a sighting so that we can do that kind of search.
But you are searching for him.
Well, of course, yes, we are actively searching for him, yes.
And there's no time frame as far as when the victims died and when you knew about it? I mean, it could have been a week ago or 2 days ago?
So the first homicide happened last night in Cumberland. So we believe that after committing that homicide, he stole the victim's vehicle and drove it to Ellicott City. We don't know when he arrived in Ellicott City. We don't know what time he committed the homicides, and we don't know what time he left Ellicott City. So that's what we're working with at this point, but we believe it's all happened in the last 24-hour period.
How did you become aware that there were 2 victims inside that home?
Well, it actually started because there was a request from law enforcement to track the Lincoln vehicle. And we located the stolen Lincoln vehicle that was stolen from the victim in Cumberland here in this neighborhood. It was only after doing some research that we were able to determine that there were family members of Mr. Burnham living in this community. And it's then that we went to that house and found them both deceased.
You don't know what kind of weapon he may have or suspected of having?
We don't have confirmation on what kind of weapon was used. We hope to have more details you know, about the injuries after the forensic examiner does what they need to do. But we do believe that he's armed, so we want people to, you know, be aware and safe. Any other questions?
Can you maybe just show us that picture?
Sure, absolutely. We do expect to do updates this evening if we get new information, and or tomorrow we're hoping to be able to identify the female victim for everyone as soon as possible.
Do you know how old his brother was, if you know his brother's name?
I do. The male victim in the homicide was Brian, Brian,